just do you and be okay with it. And it's going to bring the people who are aligned with that into your world.
There's really two levels to what you're talking about. I'm sure there's more, but I see this like, say somebody's helping an online coach, and what you're really describing to me is the 80-20 of just understanding that when you do this long enough, is that not all customers, clients, patients, whatever you call them in your industry, they're not equal, and they can't be. Right. Like it's never right. That way. And a lot of times most marketers in our world are basically making what I call the undefined more as their promise. Like, we'll get you more leads, more sales, more customers, more. And it usually sounds good to you personally. And usually it sounds good to you because you're in a situation where financially more would change your life. But somebody who's like, usually like if you're going after top tier clients that are established, what they found is doing it is, like you said, they have a real kind of person that's their tribe, and they have people that are kind of lukewarm that have tried them out. And so I'll see this where like an online coach will have a $27 ebook in a $40,000 mastermind. And because the promise is more, we treat those as if they're the same, right? And it's really not. It can't be. Like, you'd have to sell a gazillion $27 ebooks, never mind just the finance. And then like, when you start to like really own what you're about, it's like, is this $27 thing actually like leading people into the $40,000 thing, which is where we want to finish? And so it's having clarity about where you want to finish. And I think those are some great questions. I think you mentioned the pays the most, pays the longest, and is the lowest maintenance. If you start with those questions, what you'll find is inevitably, like, this is a question I actually wrote about in my book because I was struggling with it for like 10 years. And I realized when I look back that all of my terrible clients that like made my life miserable had a certain set of common traits. It doesn't mean everybody who had those traits was a miserable asshole, but by and large, they were usually broke. They were desperate, like they needed to work, and they were often small organizations that had no traction before I showed up. And so they like needed this more than anything itself, like life itself, to work. And the ones I found that were already helping themselves, had traction, were used to spending money on marketing and ads, had a certain size team, and they were already busy themselves. Like, they just left me the fuck alone. Like, I don't even know. They paid me. They were cool. They said thank you. And when you have that realization, like you said, you can become intentional about that, and you can start to say, because I just know from like years of running a marketing agency, if you got like, there are periods like I'm building something up and I got 20 clients and 3 are miserable with me. Those are the ones who occupy all your
mind space.
Yeah. Like when you're going to sleep, you're not thinking like 17 people are happy and love me. You're like, why don't these 3 people like me? What did I do wrong? What did I say? What do I need? What do I need to change? How do I get them results? And you like obsess about the people you shouldn't have even really brought in the first place. But when you have clarity about that, you can intentionally, write ads and create materials that really like proudly speak to those 17 people. And so those other 3 people just never even get in your ethos, as you put it.
Yeah.
And then what you'll find is the whole thing, scales is better. And the second level I find is that when you focus on bringing your clients to those kind of levels, the 2 levels are, one is you bring yourself your highest value, best, easiest, low maintenance clients, but you also focus on doing that, like for those of you guys who run ads for other people, on doing that for your clients, because you don't want them to work hard and have high maintenance people, and especially like service kind of things, or at least, really they're all kind of service, but even e-commerce and things like that, and SaaS, that's but you start to focus on their highest value people and who they're about. And what happens is you both end up making a lot more money doing less, because you're proudly about something and not. And the other cool thing is I think what you're really talking about is just being unapologetically you. And it doesn't mean like faking it either or anything like that. Like, I have videos online where I'm just playing with my kids, and a lot of times I just like fired up the video and started talking while my kids are playing. Like, it's just part of the deal, right? And a lot of times is we think that like people won't like us. They find out who we find out who we really are. And what you'll find is the more you do this, like, people will resonate with you. I have people like, actually, like, I sign off all my emails, "May the force be with you." I've had lawyers like write me or sign a $50,000 and up contract with me and say, "I did it because you sign your emails, may the force be with you." Like, imagine you never put those kind of, just your own bits of your own personality in there, what would happen? So
yes.
I don't know if you have any.
Well, no, but I'm glad you brought that up because it's a great point. Like even the other day, I make it a point that some of our prospects who are looking to work with us, our sales team will reach out to me and say, "Hey, Nick, we just talked to this person, John. John's got this kind of a business. Just want to send you the details." And what I'll do is I'll go into an app called Bonjuro, which is basically like a video emailing app, and I'll shoot a customized video for that individual. And then 2 days ago, I got that email from one of our sales team and said, "Hey, this is John. Can you send him in a little email? Because this is what he's going through. He's got a few questions for you." So I shot it, but I was doing it when I was picking up my daughter from school because I'm like, I've got a minute here. And so I'm shooting the video, and then my daughter like runs into this frame. And again, I'm like, well, this is my life. I'm not hiding any of this. And so I show my daughter in the video, and I'm like, "Hey, baby, say hi. That's John." She's like, "Hi, John." And I finish off the video, and then I get a response like 6 hours later or whatever saying, "Hey, Nick, thanks so much for the video. Great daughter, by the way. I've got one myself. We're going to get started next week." And like, again, to your point, if you never signed off, "May the force be with you," if I never like included my daughter, which is my regular everyday life, I'm not hiding that from everybody. If you've got a problem that I pick up my daughter during the workday, then like, screw you. So that's what we're talking about when it's just like, just do you and be okay with it. And it's going to bring the people who are aligned with that into your world. And you may have lost business, Frankie, from people who are like, "This guy's trying to sign legal contracts by signing off, 'May the force be with you.'" Like, no, thanks. Thank God they didn't, because they would have been a pain in the ass client of yours.
Yeah.
Right. So like, it's okay. There's an abundance out there. There's more than enough people who are aligned with your ethos. Just be you and let you attract, more of the people who are going to be aligned with you.
I just want to say one thing on that. I want to be super respectful of your time because I know you're the man and make stuff happen. But I was actually this is a little funny story, but I was at a mastermind once and everybody was discussing like who makes the right person for you and how do you know that for sure? And I said, well, I have my what up motherfucker test. And people are like, the what up motherfucker test. And what we were describing is like for years I was like overly fake and formal with all the clients I dealt with because I just thought you had to be that way. Like, dear Mr. Kusmich, please find the attached blah, blah, blah. And kindest, warmest regards and shit like that everybody says you have to do. And I assumed like that was just true. And I found when I had a really cool client, like, and we like really vibed with each other, I could just be myself. And so when I would call them, I wouldn't say, "Can I please speak with, the head of," so I'd go, "What up, motherfucker?" And they always thought it was funny. And I was like, and I realized that my coolest clients, like, even if they didn't like talk like that themselves, they always thought it was hilarious. And the people,
they didn't have a problem with it.
The people who didn't vibe with me were like, "Why is he swearing at me on the phone?" Right. And so I realized, I'm not saying you should like go out there and tell everybody, like call everyone motherfucker. Like, I'm not saying that's the general rule, but that's me authentically being me. And so like the people who vibe with me, like think that's kind of funny and would rather be called motherfucker than "Dear Mr. So-and-so, please find such and such." So, just because, again, I want to be super respectful of your time. I know you're an A player, make shit happen. For those of us who want to learn more about you, besides your book, I'll put a link to Nicholas's book, which you can find on Amazon. But what else can we grab from you? I know you're a man.
Well, the good thing about it is, and I don't know if this is for better or for worse, like I'm the only Nicholas Kusmich on the planet, frankly. So if you know how to spell my name, it's very easy to find me on all social channels and all that. The problem is it's not the easiest name to spell. So if you can figure out how to spell Kusmich, you can find me on all our social channels. Actually, if you go to a new endeavor that I just started about a month ago or so, at the time of this recording, is if you go to nicholaskusmich.co, so .co instead of .com.co. I've got a brand new newsletter out right now called The Bottom Line. Well, every Thursday morning. So the one just went out today, in fact. Every Thursday morning, it's my give to the world. It's my best marketing content, my best understanding, my best ideas, my best strategies around being better at marketing. It's 100% free. We give it out to everybody who wants it. That's probably the best way to connect with me. And then from there, you'll have my email address. You want to connect, you want to talk, you want to jam, you want to see what we're all about and what we can offer. That's probably the next step. So nicholaskusmich.co.co.
Yeah, we'll put a link to
Bottom
that.
Line newsletter. Yeah.
And as I mentioned before, like
go from there.
His free shit's better than most people's paid stuff. Like we actually had a ton of people driving webinar traffic using your ad templates, which, all of us got for free. Just, and like you said, little 1-page PDF that was
That's
easy
it.
to consume and go do something with. So
Yeah.
appreciate you, my man. Hey guys, if you like this video, you'll probably also like our free Facebook group, Beyond Agency Profits, Agency Lifestyle Design. You can get free copies of the book inside here. I look ridiculous. We're doing weekly Q&As, giving answers to all your questions. Some of the best, smartest, brightest people. We've got lots of industry leaders doing 7, 8 figures and beyond. It's a literal who's who of the brightest agency owners that I know, as well as lots of tips on scaling and stuff, books that work. So if you're not already part of it, you're going to want to be part of it. So make sure to click the link. I put it in the description of the video as well as in the pinned top comment below. So just scroll down and you can join, and it's totally free.